Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. It's that time of year again when we're busy thawing turkeys and hoarding cans of cranberry sauce, which can only mean that it's time once again to get ready for one of WWE's original 4 pay-per-views, Survivor Series. Oh, and by the way, this is your friendly reminder to make sure you leave a couple of crumpets and whiskey out for William Regal tonight, okay? Anyways, we have a card that's busting at the seams with 4 matches. That will surely bring down the house, or probably just our holiday spirits. Gird your loins and kiss your butt goodbye, because it's time for episode 225, Wargames Preview. I am your Uncle Todd. I can't do that nearly as good.
Wait a minute, can I try?
Yes.
Wargames!
Yeah, see, I've got my wife sleeping directly below.
Yeah,
recording.
you've got some considerations there.
I
don't. I am down in the
up.
lowest level of this house, and my wife is 2 floors up. She ain't gonna hear me. So
yeah. Not to mention she's had all those years. Actually, they both should. All these years of just ignoring us.
No, that's it.
It's not even what we're saying anymore. It's just the fact. It's the volume. That's
so
all
say it again.
is.
Episode 220. Introduce
Episode 225. Wargames Preview. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who has patented his own turkey baster but can't share the plans anywhere because of various puritanical lewdness laws. He has been my partner in Idiocy for over 2 decades and is also the inventor of the turkey gravy old-fashioned. I give you the man they call Tim.
It is something special, might I add.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
You don't feel the same. Pretty much.
That's a baker's dozen.
I think I'm having the Widowmaker. Hold on. Jeez, you hurt yourself over there? Good Lord.
Man. Oh. So there was actually just a reminder of that. I saw like a video of somebody doing like a bench press, because my Instagram feed is like gym videos and cat videos. Not a bad way to go. And someone was doing a bench press, like showing off how much they're bench pressing, and they're literally bouncing the bar off their sternum, like literally just like boom.
Oh
boom.
My gosh.
And the person who's watching, who's like a personal trainer, is like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone perform self CPR.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's not a load-bearing structure.
No.
In the way that you think it is.
No.
Oh.
Speaking of cat memes, I don't know if you've seen this one on Instagram. I sent it to my eldest, who is a cat aficionado. But there's this one where, so there's this tabby cat who is, so you have these 2 cats sitting on either side of a window. And
I love that this is where our show has gotten to, where we're describing memes that people can actually see.
And the tabby cat is like hissing and
it's like our 1920s radio.
Clawing at the window. And whoever's there basically opens, it ends up being a slider door. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this one?
I don't remember.
Opens the slider door, and the cat who's on the other side is a bigger cat from the one who is, doing all that. And all that happens is once that slider door opens, the cat who's like, going crazy, stops for a moment, and the cat on the other side just puts its paw on top of its head. Mm-hmm. And the cat just sits there and then looks up at the owner and is like, Meh?
Close the door, Karen.
It's like, could you help me out here, please? I was representing, and now I can't because it's going to whoop me.
Oh yeah, cats are kings and kings and queens of writing checks that their bodies can't count.
Oh my gosh,
cash,
it's so funny. It is so funny. Oh my! And there's another one where I guess these people. No, well, hold on, it's funny.
I can't believe that we're doing this.
Fine, I won't say anything. You brought it up. I was just throwing a couple out there just to make the people laugh.
I'm no better. I was describing a video I saw on Instagram. Like, this is where we're at.
All right, let's move
gosh,
on.
we're
Let's
both
move
a week
on.
away from
Killjoy.
going to the home.
Killjoy. All right.
Go ahead. Yeah, just yell louder because you can.
Wargames!
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. My ears needed that.
Oh, that's right. I got to volley a few more your way because you can't do anything about it.
All right.
And now we're at this point, the standoff.
There's nothing you're going to do to me that this year hasn't already done. So go right ahead.
Fair enough. All right. So we don't have any overall thoughts on this event because it hasn't happened yet. I think I should have taken that part out. Sorry. I was copying a prior outline. But the way we do this, so 4 matches, we're going to select the winner, and we're going to select or give our what we think the predicted star rating is going to be. When we come back and do the actual review for the event, we will see who is has the correct winner. 2 points for correct winner, 1 point for the person who closest predicted the star rating, but only one person can get awarded that. And then if we have a tie on the winner, I believe no one gets any points, I think is the way we do it. Or do we do it one each?
Correct.
No, we do one each. I think we do a point each.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And then we will obviously do some side bets, and you are not dinged if you have an incorrect side bet, but you will get a point if you correctly predict said side bet. This is going to be the 39th annual Survivor Series. It'll be this Saturday, November 29th, live from Petco Park in San Diego, California. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, never thought I'd say this for a wrestling PLE, 40% chance of rain. So we're going to see what exactly happens there and how they're going to guard against this. So the wrestlers and wrestle ladies are, basically kept.
No, I think they're all just wrestlers.
Wrestlers. The men and women are safe and not slipping all over the ring. Because they are going to be outdoors, which is
it's like stuff that would come out of the ladies. Ooh, the wrestle lady.
Well, I was trying to just mention the men and the women. That's all I meant.
Okay.
Gosh, you're being very persnickety.
Yeah, and
all right. Well,
this will be for most shows.
So this will be the first Survivor Series to take place in an outdoor venue, as I just said. First take place in a stadium. First to be held in a Major League Baseball venue, and the second event to be held in the United States. Sorry, in the state of California after the 2018 event. Apparently, they did a Survivor Series in Los Angeles, so we have not had one in California since then, which is really strange because I thought they came back to LA the following year after the 2018 event because of how well it did, but I don't know. Could be wrong.
Is it just like the second Survivor Series?
Oh, that's what it's the second Survivor Series. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. They have had PLEs in California since then, but Survivor Series was first in LA in 2018, and now again in 2020. Well, in San Diego at least 2025. All right, so 4 matches. So we have for the WWE Women's Championship, we have Stephanie Vaquer defending against Nikki Bella. We have the WWE Intercontinental Championship being defended by John Cena against Dirty Dominic Mysterio, with Dirty Dom being the hometown hero / heel. And then we have the Men's War Games. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. Charles Montgomery Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns against the Vision, Braun Steiner Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul. Oh, I'm sorry, the Tribal Thief Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Then we have the Women's War Games match: Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Becky Lynch, the Man. That's it. Four matches. The War Games match tends to chew up about 45 to 50 minutes a pop, feels like. So this is actually pretty good pacing, if you will. But we will see. All right, so we will start from the top and discuss and pick a winner and a star rating for each match. We will also score, as I mentioned, the scoring that will go towards our 2025 leaderboard, which, just to remind everyone, the man they call Tim is up 138.5 points to Uncle Todd's 135. The man they call Tim is going to be looking to get back on the winning side of things. The last 4 events, he has lost. He has shed points to Uncle Todd after a very, very strong and vociferous start to this year. So.
At least you're not saying virile anymore.
Well,
Disturbing on so many levels.
I could have said virile. It is an appropriate thing to say there. So.
No, it isn't actually. Not really in any context around this.
All right, sir. Let's get into it. WWE Women's Championship. Stephanie Vaquer defending against Nikki Bella. Where are you at on this one?
Man.
I have some issues, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
The trouble I've had here is I'm just not loving the story. I feel like it's so unnecessary.
Kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just not necessary. Like there's plenty of ladies on that side of the roster Stephanie Vaquer could work with. We don't need to bring back Nikki Bella to do this angle. That being said, here we are. I will give Nikki Bella credit. Like I don't know how old Nikki is at this point. She's definitely,
on it,
longer in the tooth than Stephanie is. But she seems like she can still move around the ring.
42.
Which in this business, especially after years off, that's tough. So, I mean, it still seems like she can go a bit. I don't know that we've really seen her. I know I haven't really seen her in much more than like coming out and doing a save and 1 or 2 moves. So I don't know if she's actually had a match since coming back to the company. The trouble I'm having here is I feel that Stephanie Vaquer is definitely one of the folks going forward who is really the future of this division. And I know that she's not a spring chicken either. Like she's been around for a little while, kicking around independence, Japan, all over the place. But she's definitely younger than Nikki Bella. The trouble I think is that a lot of the matches that she's had, singles matches, since kind of ascending to upper mid card to main event, just have had some glitches, have been off, and I think part of it is just like her working with either bigger opponents or opponents who just the chemistry wasn't clicking. And I'm concerned that we're going to have another one. And at a certain point, even casual fans who we just want to see the devil's kiss because, booty. Like I get it.
What did you say?
Booty, because that's part of the appeal of the devil's kiss when Stephanie Vaquer, it's full on booty shot there.
I honestly was never thinking about that, but glad to
it's 50% of your television screen, sir. I'm not.
I'm more focused on the move. Others might be,
the move, but the move is like the way that they frame it. Like that's, unless you're watching this with your eyes closed. Anyways,
focusing on the match and not on the body. I don't know.
Again, when the body is taking up 50% of your. Anyways,
hey, I got a cat meme I want to share.
I'm sure you do. Just
hey,
print it out and tape it to the refrigerator. Okay, I'll see it when I get there. So he's going to actually do that.
You asked for it. I'm going to deliver it, baby.
That's all right. If I can't sleep, I'll steal some of his whiskey and I'll just pass out in front of his refrigerator, reading the memes on the fridge. I'm concerned that this match will be another one, and there's only so many times you can do that before even casual fans start to go like, and the shine is off. And I really feel like this is not a great feud to get Stephanie over. I feel like even though she's had the belt for a little while now, I'm inclined to think that they're going to put the belt on Nikki. Even though I don't want them to, I'm inclined to think that they are going to, because this will allow Stephanie to chase. And I think maybe they're thinking that's going to add a little zip here. I think the zip would be if they actually put her up against at least one opponent that's kind of closer to her size, and let them really have a great technical match. Like put her in a feud with like Asuka. Holy hell. Let that simmer for a while or something. I don't know that this is the thing. I'm just not that high on this match. I think it's a 3-star match, and that to me is being generous. I tend to think that Nikki is going to win. I'm not loving that. Yeah, I'm going to go with Nikki winning. Well, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to go with Nikki winning.
All right. So I actually agree with you on the winner. I was thinking about this yesterday, and the question that comes into my mind is, where do things go for Nikki after this if she loses?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I feel like if she loses, I think that is it for her character right now. Like you either make her go away and bring her back in a different way, but who is she as a heel at that point? You know what I mean? Like she will be completely devalued, and or the value of her return and her name and everything has just kind of run its course at this point. So I kind of came to a similar conclusion that I think if Vaquera wins, great for her. Like the thing I was struggling with was, are they trying to do a thing with Vaquera where she ends up being this long running champion that will get dethroned at some point by some up and comer or by just a different feud, like maybe with Asuka or someone else? Or is this just the time for her to lose to Chase, but to either regain that title back either at Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's where we're heading.
And I think there's value in the chase, and I think there's value, especially as people, because what I see happening with Nikki Bella is people are going to see that Bella, who is a Hall of Famer, not an active participant, kind of, in some ways, they're gonna have to be careful so it's not a retread of what Becky Lynch is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe most fans view Nikki as inferior to Stephanie, and rightfully so. Stephanie is in her prime, and Nikki is not. Mm-hmm. And so for Nikki to run around with the belt and proclaim herself the best is going to generate more heat, is going to cause fans to have a greater reaction to her and to support Stephanie all the more, so that when she does win the belt back, it is going to mean a lot more. It's going to have a bigger pop. Yeah. And then Stephanie would then transition on to whoever her next challenger would be. So I am inclined to agree as well, that I think as much as I don't want to see Stephanie, I don't want to see Stephanie lose the belt. I want to see her continue on with a long title reign. I just don't think, unless this is Nikki's time to be just written off and written out, I just, I think both you and I have an assumption that Nikki is going to continue on the women's roster, and the only way that happens is if she wins, because the value there is just going to be gone. Like, who does she feud with next, and why should fans get excited about that feud? She couldn't beat Stephanie. She couldn't beat Asuka and Kairi Sane. Judgment Day.
Raquel Rodriguez,
and the other one,
Roxana Perez.
Yes. She failed at beating them. So it's just like So I just feel like the only road that makes sense, assuming Nikki continues as an active competitor, is for her to win.
I'm legit hoping that we're wrong on this.
I know.
And that this is the exit ramp, because eventually Liv Morgan's coming back. There's plenty of other talented female wrestlers on the roster.
Yep. Why
are we like? I get the nostalgia appeal of bringing back Nikki Bella for a bit of a run.
Yep. But I will tell you right now,
I hate the idea of her being a champ. But I mean, like you're saying, like I don't know what else they're going to do unless this is the exit ramp.
Right.
But it feels like we're heading this direction.
Yeah.
I'm not digging it.
And honestly, I was not surprised by the heel turn by Nikki, because I knew, I think it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, after Nikki lost to either Raquel or Roxanne, that Stephanie Vicaire gave her this like pep talk about, how great she is. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm Nikki, I'm listening to this thinking, who is this gal telling me who I am? Like I'm thinking about it from a storyline perspective. Like this is where I can see the heel turn going, because and you saw it, like she in a lot of ways is going down a similar path as Becky Lynch, where it's like, I'm great. You need to acknowledge my greatness. And no one tells me that I'm not great, even though I've been away for a while, and I can't win a match on my own, sort of thing. Like, Becky's doing that shtick right now. Like, yes, she's been champion, but she's been winning matches in very underhanded ways, and then proclaiming herself the greatest wrestler. She's doing quality heel work, right? It's like, this is what they do. And so I feel like Nikki's kind of going down, or they're taking a similar tact with Nikki in that way. Yeah. Now, for the quality of the match, I am inclined to agree. Like, I feel like Stephanie brings out. Stephanie can have great matches with great opponents. I think she can draw a great match out of someone, but I don't see this match with Nikki even encroaching upon the 4-0 star territory. I just don't see it. I mean, Nikki is a part-time performer. She's serviceable in the ring, but not someone who is going to have, one of those, what I would say Stephanie had with Io Sky. I don't see her having a match like that with Stephanie Vicaire, Nikki Bella I'm talking about. So I think your call on 3 stars, not to mimic what you're doing, but I was kind of coming in around the same place, because I think it'll be a better than average match. I think they will tell a good story, but I just can't give it anything more than a 3. I mean, maybe I could go 3 1/4, but even when you get up into 3.5 and 3.75, it's like you're starting to encroach upon that territory of 4 where it's really good and it's exceptional. And I don't see with Nikki Bella as the other side of the equation. Exceptional doesn't come to mind for that. So
no. Now I am going to add in a side bet here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because here's the Deus ex machina that I think we can maybe expect and maybe pay some of this off. Put down for me that we get a Brie Bella appearance to help tip the favor for Nikki.
All right, so are we just getting an appearance, or are we getting an appearance and she's going to interfere?
Well, okay, yes, let's just go with that. Brie interference to get Nikki.
So Brie Bella appearance that leads to interference.
Well, just put it as Brie Bella interference.
Okay, all right. Well, we are going to litigate these, so I want to make sure I have the English correct.
Well, I know, and I'm trying to make it as vague as possible, like you usually do.
So Brie Bella interference to help Nikki win.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to go with 2 here. One is Nikki wins due to interference. And Vicaire hits the crazy corkscrew moonsault.
Okay, well, I'll take that one too, because I mean that's
fine. You're welcome to take that.
It's not the crazy corkscrew moonsault.
I don't know what it's called. I just said the crazy corkscrew moonsault.
I forget what Cole called it the first time. It was cool sounding. I can't remember now.
Let me look it up real quick, because you're going to hold me to it. So what is Stephanie Vicaire's
spiral tap? Was that what it? I don't know. It's damn amazing. Here's the thing with Stephanie. I think that there's a certain portion
spiral tap. You're right.
Spiral tap. I think there's a certain portion of the roster, the ladies roster, that can keep up with what she's doing. I think there's others that, like, she represents like a very different style and pace and psychology. Yeah. And it's going to take everyone a little while who's working with her to figure out how to work with that.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not one of those folks who's like, oh yeah, I can just go out there and vibe with whatever. I think that's the thing that's been the hitch, because it's not like she's had terrible matches, and it's not like she's been wrestling against terrible people. Like her match against Raquel Rodriguez. By the way, big ups to Raquel Rodriguez, who like a year and a half ago, I had so written off. I was like, just dull. Who cares? And I, here, kudos to Kevin Nash apparently for, giving her some advice on, wrestle bigger and this and that. And what she is doing now works, and I'm like, oh, okay. She's actually interesting. She's dominant. Like, honestly, like her attitude, that's what Nia Jax should be doing. Like, she should have that aura of confidence and just badassery that Raquel kind of has right now, but Nia just can't pull it off in the ring, unfortunately. Oh, here, what else we got going on here?
I'm going to also put a side bet in that Raquel Rodriguez or Roxanne Perez interfere and cost Stephanie the title.
Well, go ahead and line me up on that one too. Fine.
I don't like this, because then you're going to be like, you're copying, you're nullifying any points I get by doing that. We need to hold a rule here. Like,
you're the one who started doing this to me, because you're like, well, you only get points. You don't get points docked, because I used to think you got points docked off, and then you gave me a hard time for that and did your little happy dance.
Well,
because you got over on me on now. I'm now catching up on your rules. I'm salty tonight. I don't know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Todd is a little spicy tonight. I'm not sure what's. I think you know what it is. I think it's Wargames. I think is what it is. How you doing over there?
Anyways, our next match.
Can you hear me?
What?
Hello. All right, so we're both going Nikki Bella as the winner, 3.0 stars on the star rating. Next match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, John Cena is defending said championship against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. You started the last match, sir, so I'll start with my take on this one.
Pretty please.
This one is a hard one to call, because on the one hand, I, as a fan, I would like to see John Cena enter his last match as Intercontinental Champion, and defend that championship. However, on the other hand, I could totally see a scenario situation where they get the belt off of him because Dominic is in his hometown and pulls whatever chicanery to beat John for the belt, becomes once again the double champion, and we're back off to the races again with Dom holding the AAA Mega Campeon as well as the Intercontinental Championship. So I'm kind of torn, because John is on his way out, and of course whoever faces him in that last match, if they beat him, then they become Intercontinental Champion, and if they don't, he could retire as Intercontinental Champion, which isn't. Now, it's not been done in WWE, but there is precedent, because Sting in his final match won the AEW tag belts with Darby Allin in his last match, and then they ended up vacating those championships because he retired after that. So there is a precedent in the modern era for doing something like that. I don't know if WWE would do that with Cena or not. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this. Part of me wants to say Dirty Dom takes it, and they do right by the hometown boy. Another part of me wants Cena. I don't know. What's your thoughts as we reason through this?
No. I started off and I made my pick first. Don't you start weaseling out of this.
I'm not weaseling out of anything.
Go ahead and make a point. Make your pick, and then I will make my pick and give you my reasoning.
All right. I think Dirty Dom's going to win.
Okay.
My star rating for it, going back to Dominic's match with AJ Styles, I had very high hopes for that earlier this year, and unfortunately, they did not deliver, and that really shocked me. Like, Styles usually can draw a really good match out of someone, and I don't know, with him and Dom, it just didn't click. I'm not saying this is the same situation, but Cena can draw I mean, we've already seen Cena fight Dom, and it was probably a 2.5 to 3 star match. I mean, it wasn't like it was tremendous, you know?
Mm-mm.
So we're probably going to get more of the same. So I guess what I would put here is I'll be generous and say 3.5 on this one, but I wouldn't go higher than that.
Whew, that is generous. I'm going to start off with my star rating, 3 stars.
Okay.
And I, again, much like the opening match, I feel like that's being generous. I really feel like I am giving some goodwill here that I might have smacked back in my face. I don't love this situation. I don't love the idea of Dom Mysterio winning, because to me it further muddies the waters. Like it actually felt like you get when you put him up against Cena, you finally got a time when you're like, okay, we're going to get Dom as a definitive heel. Like, because he's been getting like this mixed reaction. And part of it is because he's essentially like a walking, talking Eddie Guerrero tribute act at this point. So he's been getting that. The only way that they've been able to make him like an actual heel is by lining him up against his dad. And even then it was split until they mentioned Eddie Guerrero. And then that got folks back on Ray's side, and he smacked him, which was always something that before that he wouldn't do. So he gave the crowd that up front. So that gave like a definitive, like, okay, good guy, bad guy. And with Cena, it was again like in Boston, like they managed to make Dom an actual heel. Like we went back to like as soon as he opened his mouth, people were booing him. Great. Have him win here, they are going to cheer him, just like they did at WrestleMania. And I get at WrestleMania, people were like, it was a mixed reaction because they were happy for him having put in the time and all that, and appreciating kind of like, yes, you put in the work, and we know that you're not really an a-hole, well, we think, in real life, and you're playing the character, and you've played the character well, so here's an attaboy for you. But you can't live like that. Like, you do eventually have to make good guys and bad guys mean something, because if not, then this all means nothing. There's got to be a Darth Vader. There's got to be a Luke Skywalker. Bottom line, you can play around in the middle, and you can have some guys who are like shades of gray and all that. But at a certain point, like, you got to establish who bad, who good. Because otherwise, what the hell are we fighting for?
Yep.
You know? And so it's like, I don't love the idea of Dom getting cheered in his hometown. I just don't. But at the same time, like, I definitely see the logistical point of getting the belt off Cena before the tournament, because if you're ultimately going to have Gunther beat and retire Cena, which I really feel is the direction we're heading, even though I'm not a huge fan of it.
Does it make sense to put the IC belt back on Gunther? It doesn't.
It's a step back after he was world champ. Unless that is the first step, and then he's like, I'm going to hold this title, and I'm going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. This is the workers' belt. I'm going to win that championship. I'm going to hold both of them, because who else has done that recently? Who's the last double IC heavyweight champ? Was it the Warrior?
I think so. I mean, Seth Rollins held back in 2015, 2017 timeframe, held the not the World Heavyweight Championship, or I think it was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship when it was just the single belt. They didn't have the two. And he also held the United States Championship.
So yeah, but maybe that's the thing. I don't know. But I'm saying, like, I don't love either of the solutions really, but my heart wants to say, let Cena keep the belt and give Ray his moment on PLE. But it kind of does feel like they want to give Dom back the title, you know? And I'm the other thing is, I'm not a huge fan. I wonder how the AAA fans feel about two of their champs just being now in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Chelsea holding one of them and Dom holding another. Like, how are they feeling about this? Like, wow, really glad you guys bought out our company, and now you're like, you got these two people holding belts from our company. That's got to be great. Frack. I really don't want to say Dirty Dom. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this. Screw it. I'm going to go with my heart, John Cena. But it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a great match. I think Dominic is a good enough worker. I think the fact that he is doing the Eddie Guerrero tribute act really gives him a lot of extra credit.
Okay.
I don't feel his in-ring work is that great. And and with an aging Cena, I don't feel like there's anybody here to like elevate it. It's going to be what it's going to be.
Now, as you were talking, the one argument I can see going in the direction you just stated with Cena winning is, would they really change two titles on one card? Because if we're saying that there's no other route, unless Nikki Bella is gone, right? Unless her run is done,
which I kind of hope for,
right? Then Stephanie goes over. Nikki does the honors. She's gone. No title change there. Then you can have a title change here. It seems odd that both championships would get switched.
Totally.
So that to me, but still, like, I still go back to the idea of they achieved the goal of making him a Grand Slam champion by having him win in Boston. So does he really need to go all the way to the 13th of December with the belt? He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But at the same time, I feel like they lost that opportunity. Like, if anything, he should have lost on Raw. And this match should have been someone else's. Like, I don't know. How about the tag belts?
Yeah.
Any of the tag belts, have they been defended on a PLE this in the last calendar year? I don't remember. Like, I don't need to see this necessarily. So I'm not exactly thrilled. What do we got going on here for a side bet? El Grande Americano.
Hey, they're now going by the Gringos Locos, so I think is what they're called.
Are you serious?
Well, because that's actually a callback to let me jump. Where is it? That is a callback to. Yeah, they're calling themselves Gringos Locos, and that is a callback to or Los Gringos Locos 2.0. That is a callback to the original Los Gringo Locos were Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero. And apparently at this AAA event, when they announced that there would be a match between, so Penta is reuniting with Rey Fenix as the Lucha Brothers. And I sent you the link to this, I thought.
No, I don't remember this.
There's going to be a AAA event in December where it's going to be the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Penta, versus El Grande Americano and Dirty Dom in a tag team match. And they're calling themselves Gringos Locos. But in the promo that Dom did announcing them, he and El Grande Americano, he referred to his father's tag team, Eddie Guerrero.
That was one of the greatest ways for Dirty Dom to get heat.
Oh my God! Yes.
When Rey Mysterio, keep my father's name out of your mouth.
That's right. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Now I will say, and you, sir, have no footing to stand on. I reserve the right to change my winner and star rating category because you, sir, have changed that at the last minute.
What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me?
At the last minute.
I believe on the review, the night of a review episode, sir, you have altered your star ratings because you felt differently. Or am I wrong?
No. Like I don't think I've changed my prediction.
Oh yes.
Wait a minute. What are we?
You and Paul Bear on me with that.
I'm just confused what you're talking about. Are you talking about like my initial prediction? Are you talking about like how I felt about the match? Like I wrote down.
I thought in the past you have updated your star ratings based on I don't know.
Well, no, not the original predicted star rating.
Okay.
Like when I'm like after I've watched the match and I write in my little notebook, which is somewhere over here, and I'll say like 3 1/4 star, and then as I talk through it, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, it's 3 stars because it was even worse. Now that I think about it, it's even worse. Like that one, yes, because I haven't set that one in stone. Like we finished this show, like this one's done. This is taking the hand off of the chess piece. You don't have to go back and you know what? Really, I thought it was going to be 3 1/4 stars. I got to change that thing from a week ago. Like that.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you've changed things. In the past
I have not changed my initial prediction after the show was done.
All right.
I've totally changed what I felt like the match was like when we're doing the recap. Yes. Okay. And in those cases, I'm not looking at like what our star ratings are there. Like I'm actually literally looking at my notebook going, this sucked even worse. Like I'm literally looking at it like someone else wrote it like 2 days ago going, who the hell said this was a 4-star match? This is a 3-star match if anything, idiot. That's more my style.
Okay.
Can we do a favor here? Can we reverse these two so I don't have to talk about the women's war game match and Nia Jax last? Can we do that one next? And
no, because this is why I did this on purpose, because you know how the event is going to go. The first match is going to be the women's war games match, and that pisses me off a little bit because the women should be higher up the card. They're going to bookend
Nia Jax is involved.
They're going to bookend the event with the women's and the men's war games. The men are going to go on last. And again, I'm sure the men are going to have a great match, but I kind of feel like the women should be showcased a bit more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So are you going to copy?
This is the rules that you put out, sir.
So you're just going to copy every side bet I do to just nullify everything.
Just like you did before with me.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not. Oh, no.
Okay, Peter Brady. I was going more for it's time to change. The man they call Tim is going through his 3rd puberty.
Oh, my God.
His chest hair is growing chest hair right now.
I'm actually going to dial my star rating down to 3.25 for the last match.
You son of a bitch. I mean, whatever.
All right. So we have, let's see, Charles Montgomery Punk.
Son of a bitch, we're going to talk.
Cody Rhodes, the Usos, and Roman Reigns.
Going to have to talk about Pine Tree Nia Jax. Son of a bitch.
You're going to love it, too. You're going to love it. Versus The Vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
In the men's War Games match. So...
Stop doing that.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna pull a Roy Kent when I'm at your place in February, right? Because we just watched that episode the other day when he was the bullying episode.
Oh yeah,
he's like, you break into the house at 4 a.m., which statistically speaking is the time when people are least ready to defend themselves. And I love at that moment Beard is like, correct. Like just very quietly, I love how Beard knows that.
Yes.
You hit them with a heavy rope soaked in red paint.
So
that's what I'm gonna do. People are gonna be wondering why I'm getting on Amtrak with like a length of freaking rope and a gallon of red paint. Like, don't worry about it.
Nothing to see here. All right. Just as a reminder of how War Games works, initially it starts as a one-on-one match, and then in the early intervals, now, of course, there will be matches, I think, this week to determine who has the advantage. So tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, I believe the men are having a match to determine which team has the advantage, so who will have someone enter first once the one-on-one match starts. And then the women, I think, are having their advantage match Friday on SmackDown, I think is how this is going to work. But basically, after a set time, I think it's 3 to 5. Is it 3 or 5 minutes? I think it's 5 minutes.
it's far too long is what
it is far too long. Like, it basically takes about 20 to 30 minutes before all 5 members of each team are in the ring. And of course, at a certain point, there's going to be a 2-on-1 advantage or a 3-on-2 advantage or a 4-on-3 advantage, because it goes back and forth. So if Team A has someone enter first, then when the clock goes off, Team B would then send someone in. So you never have a team with more than a one-person deficit. But it does create, some interesting scenarios when a team has the advantage. And of course, it is called the match beyond because this is the phase of the match that begins only after all members of both teams have entered the cage. From that point on, any pinfall or submission will end the match. We will get into that because if time allows, we have a little bit of discussion on this War Games concept in the Survivor Series. We've talked about this before. It's worth rehashing and rediscussing. But nonetheless, so those are the rules for the men's War Games. So, really the men's War Games match has the Vision, who is, kind of the breakout faction of this year, meant to be the up-and-comers, the future of the business, versus the stalwarts, the World Heavyweight Champion, the WWE Champion, the Tribal Chief, and then, of course, the Usos, made up of Jay and Jimmy, one of whom, Jay, of course, is a former world champion. So we kind of have like I don't want to say the status quo, but kind of the current state of WWE versus what may be viewed as the future state, which really is just Braun and Bronson. The others are pretty much established. So,
well, I mean, Logan would count as the future as well.
Logan would. Drew and Brock, not so much.
No, Drew gets a bit of a pass in that he's just so disgruntled that I think that people can be tricked into believing, along with what, maybe he's doing Just for Men or something as well, but because, he has such a lovely mane of, Jerry Lewis black hair, people are like, oh, he must be younger. And no, he's not. He's not. Whereas with Lesnar, it's like, yeah, he's been around since, Moses is wearing short pants.
Mm-hmm.
All right, am I starting this one off, or are you starting this? Me?
You were starting this one off because I did.
Oh, dear God. How did we get here? I don't know. How can I have so many people I just don't want to root for on a team that I want to root for? Because we've got Jey Uso and Roman Reigns here. Making, Jimmy Uso, the Uso who I prefer the mosto.
That's not what you did there.
And and then we got Punk and Cody. The thing is, like, I feel figuring this one's going to go on last, the shock of the night would be if this was first.
Yes.
Which might work because, as we know, Brock likes to get his matches in early and get out.
You're on. Well, there's that, and then, I mean, I'll jump ahead to my pick a little bit, but I do feel like this might work in more of the heels directions this year.
If this is the last match, it would be very unusual for the heels to win. Although there was something I saw
unusual,
today,
but not without precedent.
Well, I saw on Reddit, I believe, which, my gosh, ever since I like looked at like one article and subscribed to like one subreddit that had to do with wrestling, and now that's the entirety of what I see when I go on the app. Which, given the current state of the world and world affairs, it might not actually be a bad idea. Careful. So, but there was one person asking, like, has the heel team ever won a War Games match? And I don't remember. Do you?
I did look at. One second. I did look at
least in a main roster sense, like, because I'm sure in NXT they did that because that was like the meth lab of wrestling back in the day.
All right. So going back in time to 2022, the heels have won. So in 2022, the Bloodline, Reigns, Usos, Solo, and Sammy versus Drew, Kevin, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch. Really?
Ridge Holland? Who the frack was that?
He was just let go. But the Bloodline won that, and then the women's War Games match was Team Bianca versus Team Bailey, where Bailey's match was the heels. Team Bianca won. In 2023, you had Team Lynch versus Damage Control, where I think Damage Control was the heels. The baby faces won.
Yeah.
Men's War Games, babyface team won.
That was Punk's return, right?
That was Punk's return. Last year, both babyface teams won.
I mean, the thing here is I feel like this is the time for the heels to win. Like they've kind of got to, right?
Yep.
Because you got both world champs in this thing. And the tribal chief plus Jay and Jimmy, like one of the most yada yada yada. But yet nothing is on the line except pride.
Yeah.
So this is the match where if you're gonna really establish this, the vision, which I don't know if they've officially announced, like, is Logan Paul part of this, or is
I mean, they have gone as far as to really enunciate his allegiance to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
So I kind of think so.
And I mean, I could see Drew McIntyre kind of being drawn into this a little bit, if only because, he would take glee in, getting one over on Seth Rollins, which.
Well, that and sticking it to Cody.
Yeah. So there's that.
But I think McIntyre is less of an agitator of Seth's than he is Cody at this stage.
Oh, yeah, totally. I feel like, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I can get multiple things over here, and I can still be a pissant, which, God bless, Drew is very good at that. One of the reasons why I kind of hold out on still maintaining, like, this guy is part of the future of the business, because I feel like he has a lot to give, and he is really good at stirring the pot in a way that is very interesting without having to have like a lot handed to him, anyways, I feel like if you're going to try to get this faction over, like, you got to give them the win here, right? Like, you've got to, and especially where you've kind of stacked the deck, where you've given them like the ultimate equalizer in Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar in a fracking cage, you can't get away. That sounds like one of those deals where there was a gosh, I wish I could remember the guy's name. And again, I'm going to describe something I saw on Instagram. I'm fracking old, but there was a guy he was a light heavyweight champion, cruiserweight champion, and he had always wanted to meet Mike Tyson. This was back in like the days when Mike was actually fighting real people instead of Jake Paul, and it was in Scotland or something. So I think it was like Savarace or something like that was the fight. And this guy thought he was going to be big and bad. He knew that Mike Tyson was going to be training someplace. So he walks in and he's like, I do the gunslinger intro, right? I open both doors and just kind of walk through. And I was like, and he comes up and he goes and he talks to Tyson. And apparently they had said, like, Tyson would like to meet you. And he's like, oh shit, I really want to meet Mike Tyson, because who doesn't? So he goes down and he goes up and he meets Tyson. And Tyson's like, hey, you want to make some paper? You want to do this? And he's like, so he's basically saying, like, you want to fight down the line. And he's like, I didn't know what to say. He's like, I don't know that I want to fight Mike Tyson. He's like, I want to meet Mike Tyson. I don't know that I want to fight Mike Tyson. It's then apparently at the fight, like, after Tyson just demolished this dude, he goes and he finds this guy in the crowd, and he's like, you sure you want any of this, motherfucker? You sure you want some of this? And the guy's just like, just has like no expression.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like, if you put anyone who's rational and sane in a cage with Brock Lesnar, even if it's a work. Like, there was a story of like Richard Pryor, because Richard Pryor was actually like a comedian. Richard Pryor was like a Golden Gloves boxer at one point in his life, and he had like an exhibition fight against Muhammad Ali for like charity or whatever. And he's like Muhammad Ali, people don't understand how fast Muhammad Ali is. Like, I didn't see the punches coming in, I just saw him going back. All I saw was like and he's like, he goes back to his wife. He knows this is a fake fight, right? He knows I'm not George Foreman or anything. He's not going to have flashbacks. Like, that's the kind of thing I think of, like, when you put him in a cage, you put someone in a cage with Brock Lesnar, like, he's not going to have UFC flashbacks. Like, he knows there's a story here, and we're trying not to kill each other, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like, has anybody said anything crossways to Brock today where he's going to be pissed off? Like, make sure he's happy, because this is one of those guys who could just like wreck you. I think Team Vision has to win here. Otherwise, what are they doing? So I'm going to go Vision. I don't have high hopes for this match.
Okay.
Mostly because, and I'm not trying to judge it on an objective scale. I'm judging on my scale, and I've become less and less enamored with war games as we've gone along, because there's such a shtick to it and all of that, and I feel like in some ways it just doesn't ever live. It's always in that place of like it's never going to live up to the hype, because it's almost like the what was it?
There's a way that it can live up to the hype,
and we'll discuss that. But there was like
this is the way.
What was it? Mick Foley talked about like when he had his match with Sabu, and he's like, people were legitimately expecting one of us to die in that ring. That's kind of like the thing here. Like, you're never going to live up to that expectation, and yet you could go through the floor. Screw it. I'm going to maintain 3.0. I think is my high point here, because I think it's going to be a clusterfrack, and somebody's going to, as usual in a War Games match, somebody's going to do something stupid off the top of the cage. I'm hoping that it's not friggin' Bronson Reed. Maybe he learned his lesson by busting up both his friggin' legs last time. But if it's friggin' one of the Usos, it's like, okay, yeah, you're slightly less likely, but you're also old. So who's going to take that dump off the top? I'm guessing it's not going to be Punk, because I'm guessing he's smart enough to go, no, I'm not doing that. Go talk to Jungle Boy about real glass.
Yes.
So, yeah, 3.0. What do you think, sir?
I'm actually going to go 4.0 on this. Here's my reason why. Because you got Punk, Rhodes, and Reigns, and you've got Paul, McIntyre, and Lesnar, along with Breakker and Reed. I call out Paul, McIntyre, and Lesnar because I think them and Reigns, Rhodes, and Punk are going to square off. And that'll leave the Usos with Breakker and Reed. And I just feel like you have this interesting concoction of solid in-ring wrestlers with, some guys who can, bring some high impact, action to the match. Breakker and Lesnar, I'm thinking specifically. And I think it can create some very interesting situations that are going to make you say, holy shiznit. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like there's going to be some really good action in this match, especially across two rings, that is going to be very good and I think going to surprise us. So I understand your reasonings for a 3-star rating, but I'm just saying I think we might be pleasantly surprised by the action here. Yes, sir.
The question I have, and I'm not doubting you, because I think you know more about wrestling than I'll ever know. But I think, are you thinking about kind of the lead up or the actual match? Because there's those two separate things.
It's both.
Well, I wonder once you get into the actual match where you got everybody in the ring, is there going to be enough room for some of that stuff to happen, and are we going to catch it all, or is it all going to be like, again, like we get into this thing where everything is going on all at once? Do you think it's really some of that's going to be able to stand out?
I think it could be both. I think some of it could be lead up.
Okay. I
think some of it could be when it's 5-on-5 that they do a pretty good job of kind of spreading everyone out and giving space for the high spots, that end up happening. So I can see them doing, I have a feeling with Breakker doing his 23 mile an hour a bit off the ropes. Are they going to do something with him where he does something crazy where like he can actually like run at that speed and dive over the ropes, and like he's going to do like a full on spear into the second ring. You know what I mean? Like,
have to dive
I could see
through.
him doing something like that.
Possibly. Yeah.
You know, where he revs, like, I'm not saying he bounces off the ropes once, but I'm saying he gets going at full steam and launches himself to the point where he leaps over both of the top ropes of both rings, and as he's coming down, nails the spear on someone who is close. Like, that's a visual that will be very compelling and would create a holy shiznit moment.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed, I agree with you. I hope to God he doesn't do anything from the top again, because I just don't see how that ends up being a smart move for him. Like, you know, do it once,
For
shame
anyone.
on you. Do it twice, shame on me. Right.
Yeah.
So would prefer that he just keep it to the top rope. Logan Paul has been known to do some very acrobatic things, and I think he's someone who could do a very, very interesting spot with someone. Could be in the lead up, could be in the main 5-on-5 match. Lesnar, I think, is really interesting because he can bring the brutality to this. Like, I don't know if they will do it or not, but I would love to see him get someone either into a German or into lawn dart position and have him like launch people into the cage. Like, he's someone who could actually legitimately make it look like there's some serious damage going on in there.
Well, yeah.
And so I just, that concoction, along with the fact you have Rhodes and Punk, who are old, both of them, Rhodes coming from his family line, Punk coming from the Indies. They're both old school wrestlers. I just what I really want for this, and probably one of my side bets is going to be, I really hope they have some blood in this match. Like, I feel like that needs to be there, especially if the Vision wins, because it just helps their aura and their sense of dominance. And you have the concoction there with Lesnar, who's extraordinarily violent, and you have, Breaker, who is also violent, not in that sort of bloody way, but you get him into a situation like that, and I think it continues to boost his aura as well as Bronson Reed's. And so that's why I have a more optimistic approach of this match. I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, I think for the men's War Games match, I agree with you. The Vision is the right call here. I think the heel team wins because it helps elevate them. I don't feel like the faces lose anything. But I think the quality of the match is going to be a bit higher. So,
who do you think is going to be the first man in for each team?
That is a great question. I wonder if we that's a missing bet thing we should do here, is like, what's the order going to look like?
Well, because I don't know. I don't know it's normally as interesting as it is here, because I could see, in a way, I could see an entire story generated just by the fact that Paul Heyman maneuvers this thing around and just lets Brock go in
first,
and just annihilate,
just to be a wrecking machine on everyone else.
Yes, that the the face team has to put their lot in first, and as an FU, Heyman's like, I'm sending in Brock. I'm sending in the Berserker to just have 5 minutes to tear up whoever it is. And maybe it's Cody. And you just watch Brock annihilate every single person. And it gets to be like, it's one on one, and then he eliminates that person, and then it's whatever. And just Brock just eliminating people, and essentially at the Vision just being able to take their time and just beat people down and keep them beat down, and Brock just takes on whoever's coming in and just annihilates them. And that's the only way that I see like the faces actually getting to overcome and coming out better, is if they can overcome that situation.
Okay.
However, it also becomes really fracking boring.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. I see Brock probably as like the last person.
Well, because you got to remember too, it's not like it's set in stone who's number one. Like, the teams can, offset each other. So if Heyman sends Brock in first, then the other side could send Reigns in first if they wanted to.
Well, but I'm saying if the face team has to send in first, because one of them has to go first, right?
Yes. And we don't know who that is.
Yeah.
yet.
So if it ends up that the faces have to send theirs in first, it's like,
yeah.
oh, we're putting in Cody.
Yep.
Here's some big ass dude who's just going to pound you pillar to post. I don't know. I feel like the structure of this just becomes such a cluster that it's tough for me to rate it highly because there's always something going on and it always feels like a compromise in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. All right, what do you got for side bets on this one? Because I think the only one that I would have is that an Uso is going to do something stupid off the top of the cage. That's the one that I immediately think of because I can't imagine Punk or Cody going off the top of the cage.
So,
I definitely know Roman isn't.
So what did you say? Say it again.
One of the Usos is doing something stupid off the top of the cage. Which honestly is the reason why they need to go back to the original War Games and put a top on this thing.
Okay.
If only for the safety of the workers at this point, to save them from themselves.
Okay.
Because it's getting ludicrous now. But yeah, one of the Usos is going to do because I don't know they can help themselves, and they're the most likely at this point.
All right, so unlike you, I am not going to copy that one. That is yours. I'm going to let you have that if you want it.
All right.
I have put in Lesnar lawn darts someone into the cage. The other one I have is Braun Breaker uses his speed to launch from one ring to the other to spear an opponent. Would you like me to copy that over, sir?
Well, no, I would like you to specify because you were very specific in the way that you talked about it, about him going over the top ropes into the next ring, and almost like you had the trajectory down, like you were Apollo 13ing, like with a slide ruler. This thing, because
I don't see a way where he launches into the other ring, diving between the ropes. There's too much opportunity for him to catch the middle rope.
I see, but that's exactly what I think. I will take that one, but he's going between the ropes.
Sure, you can have that one. I think you're wrong, but sure.
Okay, fine.
Launch from one ring to the other.
Bernie, what do you think? Who do you think is wrong, me
the middle
or Tim?
Ropes
You're wrong.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
To spear an opponent, and I'm going to say use the speed to launch from one ring to the other over the top rope to spear an opponent. Okay. What other side bets can we come up with? So you said Jimmy and Jay do something stupid. I'm going to say Logan Paul. I'm going to say Logan Paul attempts.
We're definitely not getting any Seth Rollins thing interference here, right?
No.
I'm
going to say Logan Paul attempts a top of the cage spot with his drone. Because he likes to do moves with his drone.
Man.
Which is
although
stupid.
He's kind of gotten away with from that. I haven't seen him do.
I just say Bronson Reed does not ascend to the top of the cage.
See, now that's the thing. I actually think he would, and then it would be a tease.
No, I'm saying to do a move, though. Like I'm saying he has to do a move.
Oh, okay.
To invalidate this. If he climbs up and then climbs down, then I get the point.
Okay.
Want me to copy any of those for you, or?
I'm going to go Logan Paul attempts a move off the top.
Not with a drone or not no drone?
Not with a drone. I feel like he's done that one. It's almost like an Ocean's 13 sort of thing where it's like you don't do that bit, you do the next thing.
Okay.
Man, I don't want to see anyone go off the top. I just don't. I'm just not. This is why I couldn't be a great EC. Like I loved a lot of what ECW did, but I could never be a true ECW fan. Like I actually care about these people and just want everyone to go home, relatively safe. I'm
going to do a side bet and say Drew McIntyre gets the pin on Cody. Because out of all 10 people.
Oh, dude, can you imagine Drew getting the pin on Punk? As like a callback, but no, I think it's more immediate with Cody. That'd be a little too far.
Actually,
back in the rearview mirror.
You just made me think of another side bet. Punk brings a toolbox into the ring to call back to the match with him and Drew.
Okay, I'm going to take that one because that's too good. Sorry. I'm going with that.
No, that one's respectable. That one I can understand. Do you want the Drew gets the pin on Cody?
I'm stealing that sumbitch. No, I'm okay. Fine. You want to play that way? I'll pick one of my own. I think this could be a passing of the torch sort of moment. I think Braun gets the pin for his team. I don't know who he pins, but I think Braun gets the pin. I think there's a world in which Lesnar is the wrecking ball here, even though Braun is kind of the new Brock, and that at the very end Brock kind of like does all the damage and then is like pin him and gives the pin to Braun.
I'm actually going to say I'm going to do two side bets. I'm going to say, to your point, Braun Breaker gets the pin on CM Punk because Punk has pinned Breaker before. Punk beat Breaker to earn his spot in, I think it was the Fatal 4-Way.
Oh yeah, okay.
So Punk has beaten Breaker before, but Breaker's never pinned Punk. So if he pins Punk, that can then start a feud where he.
We could go all day on this.
I know. No, but those are the two. Those to me are the two big ones because there's no benefit here. Just running it down real quick. No benefit to Lesnar getting a pin. No benefit to. I mean, the only other opportunity is maybe Logan Paul getting a pin on Punk that leads to them having a title match. No benefit to Reigns getting a pin. I don't see any benefit to Jay and Jimmy getting a pin. So it really comes down to Punk, Rhodes, Breaker, and McIntyre to me.
Actually, you know what? Give me Braun Breaker getting the pin specifically on Roman Reigns.
Okay.
And that way both of the members of the Vision have a pin on Roman.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Sorry. 1 second. Okay. So you want Braun Breaker gets the pin and then Braun Breaker gets the pin on Roman?
Yeah, specifically. Okay. All right. Our side bets are swelling.
Yes, they are. All right. Are we done with this match? Because I do want to step back to the last match to make one comment.
We are. However, can you wait for a moment for me to use the bathroom?
Quickly.
No pressure. My goodness. I'm almost 50. I've got a prostate to worry about.
Oh, good Lord. I don't need to hear about that.
A few moments later.
All right, and back to your comment about the previous match, which is Cena Mysterio, right?
Yes, there is one possibility we did not talk about that would throw it heavily in the favor of Cena winning.
Frack me.
And may cause me to change my winner.
All right, what do we got?
Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to you, as you were pontificating about the men's war game match, I threw in a side bet that I forgot that I had written in my notes that states thusly. If I can find it.
You kind of took away from the moment there. As John said, nice speech.
Rey Mysterio interferes to cost Dominic the IC title. Now, the reason why I go backwards here for a moment is I know we talked about how it doesn't make sense for Cena to move forward with the title. However, I do believe they are building to a big match in AAA with Rey Mysterio fighting Dom for the Mega Champion title, which Rey has never held. And what better way for him to essentially induce the ire of his of his son, I shouldn't say his youngest, but his son, than to interfere in this high-profile match in their hometown where he costs him the match purposefully. And now all Dominic sees is red at this point, and he wants to get back at his dad. So for that reason, and because we have not ended this session,
oh my gosh, really
I am going to change my winner to John Cena because I do believe Rey Mysterio is going to make his presence felt in this match.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
You can think that. It does not make it true.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan. Jabroni!
That is right. All right. Do you have anything else to say about that? Any changes to make? Do you want to copy that into your side bet as well?
I already did.
Oh, I'm sure you did, because from the mind of the genius.
Oh my God. Your head's so far up your own ass. You're a perfect circle.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you're a friggin' human donut right now.
Oh, I say these things, and then he just takes it to a place I just don't expect. So
throw some powder and glaze on this bastard. He's done.
Oh my God. Oh, good Lord.
I'm gonna call him the man they call hemorrhoid next week.
Well, hey, speaking of hemorrhoids, women's War Games match, Nia Jax.
You notice I've refilled before this.
I know you needed to fuel up for this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pine Tree Jax.
That's right. Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The women's.
What was it? What was the tree? What was it? Was it a cypress?
From what?
When Jim Cornette talked about Nia Jax, and she was wearing a green outfit.
I thought it was pine, but I could be wrong.
No, I feel like it was cedar tree. Cedar tree Jax. That's what it was. And then Brian Last was losing his mind, and
I bet he was.
Jim was like, well, cedar trees are very useful. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to give you fair warning to pop those headphones off, because I'm about to say we're going to talk about the women's War Games match.
That was ridiculous, even with the headphones off.
There you go. All right. So, sir, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, AJ Lee versus Cedar Nia Jax.
Cedar Tree Jax.
Cedar Tree Jax.
Honestly, that's an impmprovement.
That is.
You tell me.
Lash Legend, which to me is such a strange name. The Kabuki Warriors.
No, but she looks like a wrecking machine.
She does. Oh yeah. She and Jax do look formidable. I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by that.
Well, yeah, but it's one thing to look formidable and formidable, but if you can't talk, you ain't got no personality.
Yeah.
And your only personality trait is, hey, we're big. All right. There's a whole list of folks who have done that in this wrestling business and have gone nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Go talk to the great Khali sometime.
Fair enough.
Or Giant Gonzalez.
Fair enough.
And his, what was airbrushed leotard that he was wearing. If you have to have your muscles
not even airbrush leotard,
on.
it's airbrush leotard with hairy.
With
parts
fur.
Oh,
yes, it's like a Michael's craft store exploded. It's like the mutant from Hobby Lobby.
Good Lord. All right, well, you led this one off.
Even better, Bobby Heenan, the ham and egger from Hobby Lobby.
You nailed it.
Oh, Bobby.
All right, you led off the last one. I'll lead this one off. This women's War Games match, I am going to, in a similar way that we felt that only the heel team could win the last War Games match. This one, I feel like, is ripe for the picking for the women to win. The build up to this has been the heels consistently getting one over on the baby faces. And I really feel like they're kind of teeing this up for this concoction of Ripley, Sky, Bliss, Flair, and Lee to be, dominant and to, I don't say dominant, but to be the winners over the heel team. The Kabuki Warriors recently beat Flair and Bliss for the women's tag team championships. Lynch just lost her IC championship. She claims it's because of AJ Lee's interference when AJ Lee was just standing in the aisleway and minding her own business, quite honestly, just being there.
Well, that's Becky's character right now.
That is Becky's character.
She was also yelling at the referee, who that's also been kind of a long simmering interwebs wrestling community theory that Jessica Carr is going to become an active wrestler, which apparently she was at one point.
Okay.
before taking the gig with WWE, and people have posted like, Jessica Carr, no joke. Like I've people have posted photos of like her working out and stuff. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a person I don't want to mess with either.
It did crack me up though that when Becky got in her face during the match though, she was cracking up at certain points. Like you could tell she was trying to keep her composure and not lose it, and she had to fire up a little bit to kind of keep it under control. But yeah, so for this match, I just see from a storyline perspective, I feel like there's more to gain here from the women winning. I think to your point, you made a very excellent point about Lesnar wanting that early match. And I think if the heel team goes over for the men, which we have both said, we're both predicting to be the case, I would say then yes, then it makes sense for the men's match to go first. And then let the women's match go last with the women winning.
It'd be such a shock though.
It would, but it would and it wouldn't. I mean, I think it makes sense. I feel like between, AJ Lee and Ripley, and I know this, I don't mean to demean Flair in any way, but right now I feel like the pecking order here is Ripley, Sky, and Lee are kind of the three most over faces, and then Bliss and Flair are not that far behind them, but I don't watch SmackDown a lot, so I don't have a sense of where they are kind of on the popometer when it comes to the crowd, but I feel like Ripley is extraordinarily popular.
Oh, yeah.
Lee is over the top popular, and Io Sky is way popular with the fans.
Yeah.
And then Bliss and Flair have kind of worked their way up.
Well, Bliss was way over just because people hadn't seen her in a long time, and Flair has gotten over by proximity to Alexa Bliss, and also like it's kind of funny. Like I've been watching this because I was and you can verify this. Like I was a big critic of Flair's comeback and what they did and how they managed to botch that. It was another example of like, oh well, we'll just do this thing and then we'll adjust over the next 3 weeks. Like, no, that doesn't work, because at that point you've blown it. You've blown the goodwill with the fans, and now it shows that you're just kind of like trying to read the crowd and figure out what you're going to do next. Like, have a fracking plan. Watching Alexa and Charlotte, you can actually see like a bit more of Charlotte's personality coming out.
Yes.
And seeing her actually legit like enjoying herself. Which, if you know any of her personal history, you know all the stuff that she's gone through, like there is a certain part of me as a fan, even though like I can't say that I watched Charlotte all the way up through NXT as one of the 4 horsewomen and all this, and I know all that. Like, I just genuinely, like, when I go to see a band, when I go to see any kind of performance, like, it's just nice for me to think that, like, oh, these people are enjoying what they're doing. They like what they're doing. They like the people they're working with. There's a certain sharing of joy that comes with that. Like, oh, they're really enjoying playing together. Like, and I get to be here watching this. Like, I get to kind of, in a way, participate in that. Seeing Charlotte Flair actually seem to like enjoy herself is nice. And I think people are gravitating towards that because they're like, okay, yeah, it's great that she's dominant and the queen and all this, like, but to actually kind of see like a bit of a human part of her that is like, I'm having fun with this.
Yeah.
I think people genuinely are like, yeah, we just want to see her having fun. Like, we know that you've dealt with this surgery and that surgery and this tragedy and that tragedy and all this crap. Like, it's just nice to see you actually enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure at this point you were probably not thinking like, yeah, and I'm going to be a tag team wrestler. But you seem like you're having fun, so awesome. I think people have kind of really picked up on that and have really been supporting them, because I have tried to catch SmackDown a bit more than I used to, and it does seem like people are digging them for sure. However, that's also why I think there might be something amiss, but we'll come back to that.
All right.
Anyways, I totally sidetracked what you were talking about.
You did, but that's okay.
I apologize.
That's okay.
So where were you heading?
So from a winner perspective, I am going to go with, we don't have a snappy title for them, but I'm going to say Ripley, Sky, Bliss, Flair and Lee are going to win. And, similar to the men's match, the women have surprised us in the past. And I don't mean surprise in that I think they're going to have a bad match. I think that the action in the match has clicked sometimes better than the men's match has. Mm-hmm. And so I am predicting the same here. However, I'm going to go with a similar 4.0 star rating on this one because I feel it is going to be of a high caliber with this match. What, sir, is your prediction on this?
So I think there's several things at play here. And to go back to what you're talking about, I don't necessarily think that the men's match would have to be first if the heels go over. I think you could in a world you could have the ladies, then the men's the ladies championship match, Stephanie and Nikki first, and then the men's Wargames match, then Cena, Dominic, and then the ladies. It'd be so unusual. I almost feel like, this is probably going to lead off. Which makes me wonder, is there a world in which we get that heel team over? And I almost wonder if we see a Charlotte Flair turn here. And she somehow aligns herself because of the Rhea Ripley comments, she doesn't trust Rhea. I wonder if she aligns herself with Nia Jax and Lash Legend. And completely avoids Kabuki and maybe even Becky Lynch or maybe just Becky Lynch, because what was the Four Horsewomen? It was Bayley? It was
Lynch, Flair, Bayley, and she was called Sasha Banks, but she's now Mercedes Moné.
But man, I almost wonder if we get a Charlotte Flair heel turn here.
Ooh.
Which, in a way, I'm like, I don't want to see that. But at the same time, that's the time you do it, when it's fans are like, no, I don't want to see that. You wrench this away from them.
My only argument to that is I would agree if we were closer to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but this gives time, dude.
I'm just saying, yes, but I don't know that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know that a long simmering Bliss Flair feud is going to work over that many months.
Well, it doesn't necessarily just need to be Bliss Flair. Here's the thing,
the heat is coming from Flair turning on Bliss.
Totally, but you also have Rhea involved. And you could, what I'm saying is maybe we start getting a female heel faction for the first time in fracking forever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we get a nouveau, because hey, the Four Horsemen weren't exactly set in stone about, honestly, you and me are probably the only two people who haven't been in the Four Horsemen at this point.
Yeah.
So, are the new Four Horsewomen Flair, Lynch, Jackson, Legend?
Could be.
I don't know. So then you can kind of rotate some stuff around. I don't know. I could be fantasy booking out my ass, and I probably am, honestly. I feel like the heels go over here. Okay. Because I do like the idea, but it's again, who needs it? Rhea doesn't need it. Sure as shooting, Rhea doesn't need it. Even Phantom of the Opera Rhea now, second friggin' War Game, she has to go in with a mask. That's gotta suck. Io Sky doesn't need it. AJ Lee doesn't need it because I don't think she's going to be a full-time participant. She's here kind of because I can do some stuff. Alexa Bliss doesn't need it. People have been popping for her, even though she really hasn't been doing all that much ever since she came back. She come back at the Royal Rumble or something? So yes. I feel like the heels are the one who need this. Good God, Cedar Tree Jax needs something. Lash Legend needs a leg up because she's just getting into the main roster. Kabuki Warriors are probably the ones who need it the least. Becky Lynch could use a little... I would agree
with you, except for the fact that the last several interactions they've had have been the heels going over the faces. So
True, but I mean,
I don't want to talk you out of your pick because it sounds like you're going the heel way, and I would like for us to have a little bit of difference here. But
I'm going heels.
I don't see it.
I'm going heels.
Oh, you are.
I am. Right. And star rating, you know what? I'm going to keep this consistent across all 4 matches, 3 stars. Because again, I feel like these war game matches like wind up being such a fracas to me. That's like it's not even close to a 4-star.
All right.
Usually.
What about side bets?
I'm going to go with the side bet of Charlotte Flair turns and helps the heels. Let's go with that one.
You can have that one because I don't think it's happening.
Okay. I mean, and it probably won't, honestly. God, I'll go with another one. Io Sky does some sort of move off the top of because it's fracking tradition at this point.
I'll just copy this since you're not going to let me have an original side.
Well, no,
bet,
just
so.
it's not garbage can spot. I wasn't going to go with that. I didn't even see that. My screen was rolled down.
Okay.
But Io Sky is going to do some spot off the top of the cage, which again I don't want to see.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
Like, and the fact is, like, she's probably one of the only people who should, because it seems like she does it in a fairly sensible way. But the other part is like, the trouble with doing these spots off the top of the cage is, one, so many people are liable to get injured because they're not used to doing this crap. The other is, like, in order to do it safely, there has to be so much setup that it takes you away from any kind of reality in the match.
Yep.
And that's even before we get to the fact that, like, even if you do everything right, you can still get hurt. What's the upside here? Oh, you made him chant holy shit. Good for you. Now you're out for 6 months with a tendon that's, wiggling out your kneecap. Congratulations.
You're being overdramatic.
Yeah, go talk to Bronson Reed. Good old Tubby Tugboat.
I
was
talked
out
to him
for how
yesterday.
long?
He's the tribal thief now.
Well, good for him. He was also out for like 6 months. Well, because he busted up both his friggin' drumsticks.
And he's in a better position now than he was then.
Luckily. Because when he came back, he wasn't.
All right.
It took a while for this whole thing to kind of... Anyways.
Two 50-year-old guys debating over bourbon and wrestling.
What do we got for Cedar Tree Jacks? Anything for her, or is she just kind of like, is she there?
So let's see. So I have I had one for Io Sky. Did I have? Oh, I didn't.
Do you even care that Nia Jax is in this? I don't.
I don't. I think
I got nothing else.
I think AJ Lee gets the pin or submission on Becky Lynch.
Oh, wait. So there is a ref in the ring for this, right?
Yes, there is.
Throw me down for Becky Lynch attacks Jessica Carr. And we finally get into the feud that's supposed to happen.
Okay.
And hopefully Jessica Carr will still wear her referee uniform a la Danny Davis. That would be great.
Danny Davis was from Dover, New Hampshire.
Dangerous Danny Davis, yes. And I
Danny Davis.
I remember that when he was on TV and they announced him from Dover, New Hampshire. I was like, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, that was so
It's like
great.
hometown boy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Why do you have to be a dirtbag? You're representing.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
Anything else?
What other side bets can we have here? So we got EO.
Nia Jax does something to injure somebody else, I guess, but we'll never really know that for sure. So that's kind of an inconclusive.
I'm going to say Ripley and Flair. Double team either Jax or Legend at some point in the match. Like two of the strongest women of the team.
Go ahead and put me down for that too, because that could count for most anything. So sure, let's just. make sure you don't.
You know,
get
at
a
least
point
I'm
for
bringing
something.
some creativity here. Your majority of your
I am
list is
sorry,
based on
sir.
mine.
Who had Charlotte Flair doing a heel turn in the middle of a war game? Something you hadn't even comprehended.
Right,
of.
and I did not copy that. I'm letting you have that.
But
because
still,
I
I'm
don't...
saying like this is so general. This could be like any type of you could argue. This is a free point for you, sir, if I don't have this down.
There is no chance that Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, or AJ Lee are going to move Nia Jax. It is Ripley and Flair that are going to do that.
Again, but they could team up at any point during the anyways, I'm not going to argue with this.
All right. I just said Alexa Bliss's name, and my I don't know if you can hear that, but my tablet, my Kindle, is going off because it has an ALEXA, built into it. So whenever you say it, it's always like, oh, I can't connect because I don't have Wi-Fi, because I'm normally on the train when I use it. So anyways, it's just kind of funny. Because I'm hearing you and I'm hearing that go off at the same time. Let's see what else.
I don't know.
I'm trying to see what other side bets we can do here. I'm gonna go with. Oh my gosh!
This is the
Asuka
segment that never ends.
And Kairi Sane do Asuka or Kairi Sane.
I love how you pronounce Kairi. It's
do
very interesting.
Crazy off the top of the cage.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get this thing called Survivor Series.
All right.
Let's go, Survivor Series.
Hey, we have quite the side bet list going. This is one of the longest side bet lists I think we've ever put together.
Why, thank you if I had a nickel for every time. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You're talking about side bets.
You can thank me as much as you want because I came up with pretty much 3/4 of your list. So
good. Once again, I'm just playing into the rules that you have established.
Well, going into 2026, we're going to have a rule that only side bets will be logged that the person came up with themselves.
Oh, interesting. So this is almost like a Patriots Colts sort of thing. Like, I'm tired of you beating me.
No, not at all. It has nothing to do with you beating me. It's the fact that you bring zero creativity to the table.
Sorry.
You're
Didn't you say
leeching
last,
off of my knowledge and genius.
that you had fallen behind? You had lost points the last 4 times?
That's because of the picks that I had made. I made some
is it
foolish
really?
Picks.
Is it really?
And now,
or is it you just whining and pissing and moaning?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right, fine.
All right. What else do we got?
You're wrong.
Any other side bets we want to put?
I'm good.
So you're going with the heel team. I'm going with the babyface team. You're going with a 3-0 star rating. I'm going with 4-0. And, just by the way, the fact you have 3-0 for all the matches, I would like to see some ratings that are not exactly 3.0 when you watch the show.
We'll see. Again, this is... I don't feel like this is going to be a high star rated PLE.
Come on.
The War Games matches for me are
come on.
I just don't see them achieving that level. And then the other 2 matches we have on here, I don't know. And for those keeping score at home, and it's official, I got my ass handed to me because Kyron Williams decided to just not do squat.
What happened?
He got me 17 points.
Dude, 17 points is something.
Not really when you got a wide receiver who got you 21.
Oh, my God. My goodness.
Don't you
No one of your
chide.
players don't perform for you. You're too hard on them. Whereas, on the other hand, I am up by 20 points comfortably. And Ricky Persall, who has not put up a point since, I don't know.
Sir, I think you need to remember I'm going to be in town in a few months, and I have a decent memory. I'm not good at math, but I remember stuff. That rope soaked in red paint.
All right, sir. Anything else on the War Games event itself?
No.
All right. Do we want to go into the case for and against Wargames continuing Survivor
Yes, because
Series?
I've been waiting on this for the last 10 minutes.
All right. Well, we're at an hour and 40. Let's not elongate this episode any further than needs to be. So. That's right. I said elongate. You got a problem over there?
Are you asking me to prove something, sir? Is that weird?
I'm sorry. Are you going through some hard times?
Excuse me while I whip this out. So I just thought it was so here we are. We're talking about two War Games matches that have obviously been in a way like cobbled together. Like there is not a natural storyline for both of these. They've been thrown together to fit the match teams and all that. And I get that. However, this is the reason why we went away from the traditional Survivor Series matches, because once upon a time when Survivor Series was a thing and it became a thing, it was a team versus team, and it was elimination, and you would wind up with the sole survivor, or the team you would eliminate the rest of the team, right? So, and then we went away from that because it's you're kind of just forcing it. And then we went to the whole, because it was the brand split, then it was like Survivor Series, like Raw versus SmackDown. And now we're at this point where it's War Games now, which is, it's new and shiny and this, that. But we're doing the same friggin' thing. And I think what we need to do, and when I say we, I mean you, Paul, just go a year without War Games. Unless it naturally fits in, like, or do like or alter the rules significantly so that you can have it become a thing. Here's the thing, like it becomes such a long, drawn out fracking process. Essentially, we're dealing with like a second Royal Rumble, where you're totally trying to maneuver around these two gigantic matches that are going to take up an hour each, because you've got in the Royal Rumble, you've got a certain amount of time before you get everyone into the ring. And here, the same thing. Like, you got a certain amount of time before you get all the participants in, where you can't eliminate anybody. And then the match starts. And then it's one fall. Well, this is freaking stupid. Do something different. Like if you're going to do it, change War Games. And if you're not going to do it, then go back to traditional Survivor Series matches. Something to like speed this up and get us a little bit more variety in this card. I don't want to watch a 50-minute Survivor Series like War Games match most of the time. Because, again, we're going to drag in kendo sticks, we're going to drag in a chair, we're going to grab in the furniture, we're going to do this, and you can just beat the piss out of people forever. And then the match starts, and we know it's not going to be a quick elimination, so now we got another 20 minutes. Like, make it like you can actually eliminate people. Like, put some actual friggin' stakes in this thing. Otherwise, it's just like, well, if you can just make it, you're fine. It just becomes lame at a certain point, where it's such a like device to further the plot. It's friggin' Jurassic World Rebirth, like, where we're just trying to serve the plot so everyone makes stupid decisions and choices because we need to get to X, Y, and Z and hit that. Like, do something different, I guess, is what I'm begging for, rather than this like just kind of cobbling together of storylines for a one night thing that ends up being a nothing in the grand scheme of stuff. So that's my case against. Do you have a case for, sir, or are you going to remain in solidarity? Idiots unite.
I'm not going to unite with you.
I didn't figure you would.
In fact, I wonder if I should turn around and grab a piece of hardware behind me and throw it over my shoulder as I pontificate.
Your Blanton's barrel stave that you didn't actually collect all the
No,
caps to?
My World Heavyweight Championship that's behind me that I earned. that I earned.
You didn't earn.
That I earned.
You earned the money to buy it.
I did.
You were essentially
so I earned it.
You were a less wealthy $1 million man. No, son of a bitch. Here he goes. All right, you're gonna do this.
What are we doing? Oh boy, what are we doing? Oh yes. Look at him pouring himself a drink because he's got to look at the gold over my shoulder. How we doing over there? Oh, he's putting
I'm going to bring that friggin' belt over. I got to pour myself.
Hey, apparently it shines quite brightly because you sent me a screenshot where you were kind of like squinting when I had this massive piece of hardware over my shoulder. So, anyways, my case 4.
I mean, one could make a case that this is all about compensation when you're talking about massive pieces of hardware. But
well, no. This is my championship belt. That's all there is to it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mm-hmm.
But the case for the War Games match. So you, sir, are clearly against the War Games match.
Correct.
My case for it is I think one simple thing they are missing, one very simple ingredient they need to mix into this to make this more interesting.
Right on.
And to make it, I think, kind of a WWE evolution of the concept. Is basically to bring the Survivor Series aspect of this into the match itself. So when we enter into the match beyond, which is what the 5-on-5 part is, so not the lead up, but the actual 5-on-5 match when all the principals are in the ring, in the double ring, that instead of it being a match where it's the first pinfall or first submission, that we bring in the elimination aspect that comes from Survivor Series, because Survivor Series, as you might recall, as a fan of wrestling, is 5-on-5 teams where the match progresses until one team has fully eliminated the other team.
Was it 5-on-5 or 4-on-4?
Originally, it was 5-on-5. It did then move to 4-on-4. So you are correct. But the original Survivor Series, I believe, was a 5-on-5 elimination tag team match.
Featured multiple tag team elimination. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I'm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had.
Like I'm not trying to be a jerk here. It's just it is that minutia of it that I'm kind of interested in.
That's all right. While you're doing that, I'm just going to hold the belt up to the camera so you can see the pretty belt.
Yeah.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The big gold belt.
First Survivor Series. Okay.
No longer on shopwwe.com.
1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it is 5. Because where's the thing where they list them? So the thing is, Wikipedia doesn't really list the. Oh, here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you're right. 5. Okay, 5-on-5.
Do not question my knowledge,
dude. And speaking of,
yes,
the original Survivor Series from 1987, first match: Brutus Beefcake, Jake Roberts, Jim Duggan, Randy Savage, and Ricky Steamboat with Miss Elizabeth defeated Dangerous Danny Davis.
Yes.
Harley Race, Hercules, the Honky Tonk Man, and Ron Bass with Bobby Heenan and Jimmy Hart.
Nice.
Wow. And actually, oh my gosh. So, and going back, this is a 4-match card as well. We had a ladies Survivor Series match. The Fabulous Moolah, the Jumping Bomb Angels, Rockin' Robin, and Velvet McIntyre defeated Dawn Marie, Donna Cristianello, the Glamour Girls, and Sensational Sherry.
Alrighty then.
So there you go.
But to me, I feel like the elimination piece of Survivor Series, if it were to be brought into War Games, would make it a little more interesting, because then it becomes a numbers game, and the teams in theory have to be a little more strategic because they want to ensure they're not the team who is at the numeric disadvantage as the match moves forward.
Correct.
And so quite simply, that's really what I think is missing, or what I think they could try to do to make it more interesting, is to introduce that elimination piece into war games. Now, you could make an argument for, should they do elimination in the lead up to the match beyond? I mean, I think that would be interesting because, again, it would create a kind of like what you were alluding to earlier with Lesnar, is that it leads to a strategic element to the match where, do you put your killer in first, or do you hold back on your killer talent until a certain point and then have them go into the match where they can, potentially score maybe an easy pinfall or submission on an opponent who is fatigued, who has been worked over by, others, or, from earlier. And so, so I'm not sure if I'm a little hesitant on saying bring the elimination concept in, kind of in the early going, like maybe keep it for the 5-on-5 piece. But, but I do think it's something that would be interesting, because in the chaos of the match, you could see pinfalls happening or submissions happening where it starts to eliminate members of the opposing team. And now that opposing team, has to readjust their tactics, because it's now less people against more people, and they have to somehow even the odds or get the advantage to their side. And you could see it going back and forth throughout the match, which brings a drama to it that doesn't, that I think is kind of lacking at times with the current war game structure. So that is my case for it. I think war games, I love the fact they do war games. I'm not crazy about the fact that every entrant into the match has to bring in some different weapon. Like, I feel like that's overplayed. I feel like and we talked about this last year. I think what they should do out of the gate is just in that center area between the two rings, they should just have that filled with chairs, tables, bring the hardware, have it already there. They just enter in the match and off, and we're off to the races. That's what I think they should do.
So
make it brutal.
Just in retorting to what you're saying, I think the cage is the weapon. The fact that you're closed in, like, that is the weapon. That is the ultimate weapon. Like, you can do whatever the frack you want. There's no until you get to that point, like when pins and submissions happen, like, you could put someone in a camel clutch, make them humble, and you could do, if you can lock that in at the beginning of their time in the ring, you can keep them that till they pass out. Like, that should be explored. I mean, granted, like, every so often, a weapon, cool, okay. But it just being like a de facto part of the match, to me, is like, let's not do that. Let's not go back to the days when we have the hardcore championship.
Here's the thing, though, right? If every entrant's already pulling weapons in, what is the difference between doing that versus having the weapons already in the ring? Like, why is it? And I know you're not making the argument that it's okay, but I'm just thinking to myself, if every person is going to go under the ring and pull something out and bring it into the ring, then just have it all in the ring to start with. Like let's get past this ridiculousness where everyone's going under the ring, because it wastes time. It's like, get the men and women in there, have at it. If you want to go grab a chair from that middle section, grab a chair. But let's cut the wasted time from going under the ring and trying to find the weapons that you're trying to pull out. It's just like, have it in there.
Well, agreed. And that's why I think it should just be a thing. Like, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you get locked in there, and that is your weapon. Like, just stop that.
Yeah.
Because the reason they're doing that is to hype the crowd.
But I argue too that I get what you're saying. I agree that the cage should be in and of itself enough.
Yes.
But clearly they don't feel that way. They, being the bookers and the creative team, feel they need to pull the hardware in to create more drama, to create more high spots. Otherwise, why would they do it? I mean,
well, but I think part of that too is like filling time. And here's where I think the biggest change could be made. Instead of like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever the frack it is, because I think it's like 5 minutes at first and 3 minutes afterwards. I could totally be wrong. Where people come in, it should be like 5 minutes and then 1 minute. Or 3 minutes and then 1 minute. If nothing counts until that last person is in, let's get there as fracking quickly as possible. Who gives a flaming frack?
Because the numbers game matters.
No, it doesn't, because
it does matter, because you're going to have
not.
2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3.
It does not, because then they all hulk up and everybody all of a sudden has a full power meter when it comes time to do their move. It really doesn't.
Well,
but
really then they
doesn't.
should adjust the booking to reflect that then.
No, you should get people into the ring sooner.
Well, then just start with a 5-on-5 match then.
Well, how did they originally do? How did Dusty Rhodes do the original Wargames?
This is how Dusty Rhodes laid it out. It was this way.
Okay, but you know what? Maybe it's time to change it.
No.
If we're gonna merge it, fine, because and Dusty Rhodes had a cage that was only 6 feet tall, so you couldn't do half of these friggin' moves, and it had a roof on it. So let's toss out the fact that we need to keep it. It's holy according to the Saint Dusty Rhodes. No, it isn't, because you changed it already. All right. So
I disagree.
In my opinion, get everybody into the match as quickly as possible. I love the idea of bringing the single elimination into it. I think that is fantastic. It's a great way to blend those two. The one thing I would suggest to actually keep this somewhat organized, because you do need to have a way to the reason why you could do the elimination the way that they did back in the day with Survivor Series is because you only had 1-on-1 in the ring. You got 5-on-5 in the ring. It becomes so chaotic. There's no time for regrouping. Here's what I think. Each team has to be assigned a ring. So once we get everyone in the ring, okay, yeah, you can beat on people and all this stuff. Once we start the match, so let's say for friggin' random ass reasons, 3 minutes, 1-on-1. And then every minute after that, someone else is added, and then we start.
Mm-hmm.
Great. What would even be greater, honestly, is when they do and now let the war games begin, is if then a roof actually settled on top of the cage, and then it's we are done. You are now completely locked in. That would be great. It probably ain't going to happen. Once that happens, eliminations, submissions, pins, whatever, have to happen in a specific ring. So one team gets this ring, one team gets this ring. You need to eliminate people in your ring. So it actually gives you a chance of some extra strategy there. So you get that chance to regroup. You can retreat to your ring where the other team can't eliminate you. That sort of thing. And then let's eliminate. Let's whittle this fracker down and get to who's the sole survivor. I like that idea rather than just being the first person to get a pin or submission. No, let's really get into this where the interesting stuff is. I like that idea. I just feel you need to have something to organize it to then give you a chance to retreat, to make it a little more interesting, because otherwise it's almost Royal Rumble-ish, where it's at any turn someone can just toss you over and then you're done. You need to have a little bit of a chance to be able to a home base that you can retreat to, regather, and then all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more interesting. I feel the way it's structured right now, it feels too much like a one-act play, And I'm just not digging that one-act play.
Okay. I disagree.
I know you do. But I think between the two of us, we actually came up with a much better idea. Paul?
Minus some of your thoughts, but
Oh, you son of a bitch. I'm not against using weapons. That's the thing. I just feel putting them in the ring. I feel so much of what War Games and Survivor Series has become could just be done with just telling the talent, not even making rules, just telling the talent, you're not going off the top of the cage this year. You're not bringing in a kendo stick because someone brought in a chair. Just go in the friggin' cage and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Just telling the talent we're pulling back on this stuff. Make it work.
But
do what you normally do on a daily basis and.
But I know that the creative team is telling the talent to do that.
I understand, but at the same
like
time,
it's not like the talent is independently deciding to bring this stuff in the ring, right?
Well,
I mean, you know this.
I'm hoping that there is. I'm hoping there is a little bit of like the talent being able to say like, "Hey, I've got an idea." I'm hoping that's part of it. I'm hoping it's a little bit of a collaboration. But even
sure, but they're
I
not
guess what I'm
doing
saying
it in
is
the
like,
moment. You
okay,
know what I mean?
I guess what I'm saying is for Paul Levesque, Chief Creative CCO, Chief Creative Officer, like
the cacao.
We're going into up territory.
Oh my.
So, but for him to basically be like, all right, like, here's the deal. Like, if you want say you're producing the men's war game match, I'm guessing at some point, say it's Shane Helms who's producing this match, or maybe there's two of them or whoever, but like they have to run this by Paul. I'm gonna guess if you have a guy bringing in a weapon, give me a reason for it. Otherwise, they don't bring the weapon in. That can be all it is.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is like just slow it down that way. It doesn't need to be like this big edict that goes out to the internet wrestling community or the TV audience or whatever. It's like just have it be a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go off the top of the cage? What's your reason?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looked really cool. Not good enough. We've had guys blow out tendons and this and that and the other. Like, it should be like there is a reason why you're doing this. Give me that reason. But of course, that also means that like the people in charge have to be of that mindset, which they're not. Oh well. So conclusive, we have established that war games should be done.
War games plus Survivor Series elimination plus some weapons in the middle. Nirvana. That's what we're saying.
Why do I even keep doing this? I could be sleeping right now.
Maybe with a couple of Uncle Todd suggestions with, nothing off the top. That sort of thing. But for one last time before we get to end another thing, just because it makes me laugh to do it. War games! Yes, I know you're coming here in February, so and vengeance will be wreaked upon.
What
me.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna super glue your toilet seat shut. I'm gonna make sure I have a bucket, but you're gonna be pissing all over the seat. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be peeing into your friggin' bathtub.
Oh my God! Woo!
Merry friggin' Christmas.
Oh my God!
All right, you undeserving bastard. What have you got for me? Another thing?
Jeez, that's a hell of an intro right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this undeserving bastard over here.
You kind of teed me up for it, so you've been poking at me all night.
I've been doing what? All right. Nonetheless, my and another thing, sir, is Ken Burns,
that age.
The American Revolution. His documentary debuted last week on PBS, and I would highly recommend it if you have the PBS streaming service or PBS reruns. But it is very informative. We've gotten through 2 of the 6. They're 2 hours each, so they do take a bit of time to get through. But no, if you've ever seen a Ken Burns documentary, it is thorough, it is well researched, it is very detailed, and really brings to light, I think some facts and detail that have at times been glossed over, whether it be in history class or in other realms of just some of the events that occurred during this period. One of the things in particular that I'll just call out that I thought was really interesting was because I never thought of the revolution this way, but the idea that like there's a couple ideas in there. One of them being the fact it was really kind of highlighting the fact that this period of time was the first time that a people went from being subjects to an authoritarian leader in a king to then being citizens that had some sense of agency and some sense of say in their situation. The other part of it that was really interesting was thinking about the American Revolution not as just a war against Britain, but quite honestly was really the first American Civil War, because you had a segment of the population that were loyalist to Britain, and you had a segment of the population that wanted to split off from Britain. And so those two were at odds with one another. And I had never really thought, like, in a way you kind of understood that or heard it, but never had thought about it or had heard it articulated that way. And so anyway, so all that to say, if you love history, if you love to delve into the minutia and the detail, I think Ken Burns' The American Revolution does a phenomenal job of that, and has several, not that this is a reason to watch it, but just has several, I don't mean to say popular, but well-known actors and actresses who do the voices of some of the characters. So you have, for example, who's the actor who played John Adams in HBO's John Adams?
Son of a...
He was in Sideways. And I'm going to look it up because I don't want to let this go. John Adams actor, Paul Giamatti.
Yes.
Paul Giamatti does, he voices over the John Adams quotes. Now, what's interesting is Laura Linney played Abigail Adams, but in this document, and I think in the past she has done Abigail Adams quotes as well, but this time around it was Claire Danes who was doing Abigail Adams, and Laura Linney was voicing someone else. I don't remember who it was. Tom Hanks is also there, and there's a couple other prominent entertainers, voicing over for some of the quotes. So all that to say, just do check out Ken Burns' The American Revolution on PBS. Phenomenal documentary, even though I've only seen 2/6 of it, but it is very good, and I think you will very much enjoy it. What is your end and other things up?
I'm going to do a double here because you've inspired me, sir. So the first one being 1776 by David McCullough. Documentary, a nonfiction history book about kind of the year 1776 and all that it entails, because it really is this story of in a way like just this grappling with ineptitude and the what am I trying to say, the dysfunction of the colonies trying to come to grasp with who they are and what they want to do. Dave McCullough, of course, the author of many nonfiction history books, the most prominent being John Adams, which was used as a basis for a limited series, which was with the Mr. Giamatti as the lead of John Adams. And which is in and of itself a great read. Holy crap. However, I am also, and that in itself is great because it kind of gives you an early glimpse into what the beginning of the American Revolution was, and just how much Americans lost in that, and how much it was essentially the Americans getting their tail kicked. And George Washington just like retreating and just trying to like preserve enough people to continue the fight. It's crazy when you think about the fact that group won against, like, at that time, what was the greatest world power. It'd be like almost at this point, like, what, friggin' Uruguay taking on the United States and winning, that sort of thing. That's probably overstating it, bitch. However, I am also going to tag onto the movie 1776, which was a musical. I believe it was a Broadway musical from years before that, but then became a musical that was on that became a movie that is great because, again, it's one of those things where it kind of showcases the prickliness of John Adams. At one point, where there's a musical number where John Adams is trying to proclaim what he wants to do, and everyone else saying, "Sit down, John," or "Shut up, John," or something like that. And I'm like, this is carried across several different books and media. I think we can safely establish John Adams was not exactly, the most likable of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to recommend that as well, because I watched that back in junior high or high school, and I just thought it was hilarious. Because again, it's kind of portraying the founding fathers as like people who can be absolute just asshats at times.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with those based on your recommendation. Keep this whole thing Revolutionary War kind of like. And that
Once
lady
is stealing my idea. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
I appreciate the connection that our and other things had. So thank you.
May I proceed to the next part of the show,
Proceed,
sir?
Baba.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for listening and watching this show. We so appreciate your viewership and listenership. If you'd like to find our show, you can the audio-only version, you can find that at freerangeidiocy.com. You'll be able to subscribe on Podbean. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, and all of the other fine podcast purveyors out there in the world. If you'd like video, you can find us on our YouTube channel as well as Spotify. If you'd like to find us on social medias, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and the aforementioned YouTube. All of those are at Free Range Idiocy. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, any kind of outright bribery offers, we're open to hearing them, quite honestly, because we got bills to pay. Just like Farouk got to eat too, we got to eat too. So send those to Tim at freerangeidiocy.com, and he will get back to you forthwith, if not sooner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to shut my yap. I know there's at least 50% of our fan base crying, "Hallelujah, brother!" But not before I turn the show over to the less idiotic of the two idiots who run the show. It's praise, somewhat damning, faint praise, but it's praise nonetheless. But not before I ask the second most important question in all of human history. The first, of course, being what is hip. The second being, what in the frack did we learn this episode, sir?
We've learned the following. We have learned that Uncle Todd is a huge fan of the man they called Tim shouting Wargames constantly. I know. We've also learned that both Uncle Todd and the man they call Tim, very similar picks when it comes to the Survivor Series matches. Although man they call Tim is a bit more bullish on the star rating for the War Games matches than Uncle Todd. We've also learned that Uncle Todd is a bit sour on the War Games concept, and with some adjusting and some tweaking, could be a fan once again. The man they call Tim, however, has the better suggestions with the elimination and weapons in the middle of the ring that I think would make it much better.
You're wrong. We've
also learned that Uncle Todd has come to copy most of the man they call Tim's creative side bets. Am I being ushered off? Is the Grim Reaper coming for my soul? Oh my goodness. But nonetheless, what do you mean wrap it up? This is my segment. I'll go for 20 minutes if I want to. I am worse than Hulk Hogan. That is no doubt. And we've also learned that when it comes to fantasy football, the man they call Tim is the master manager, as he is going to win. Not just one, but two. Look out, ladies and gentlemen. We got the double bird for the first time on Free Range Idiocy.
Get the stone cold salute for that one.
Took 225 episodes to make it happen, but it finally happened. So there we have it. And on that rather profane note, we will close things out here on the range, as we like to say: be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The range is closed for now. See ya.
I like a Mussolini.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Mr. Kroger. 2 C's, 2 D's, and an F.
That's a 1.2 grade average. Congratulations, Kroger. You're at the top of the Delta Pledge class.
Damn!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you.
Mr. Dorfman.
Hello.
0.2. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
I think you've had about enough.
Well, I think you're wrong, you increasingly attractive-looking woman. You know, you're really pretty.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm serious. You could be in magazines. You could. And not just like Jugs or Creamsicle. Call me. She won't call.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
So say we all.
So say we all.
So, sir, I have just checked this.
Yes.
Because we have been adding our Week in Geek episodes plus our Free Range Idiocy Friday episodes currently posted, which will change when we post these. The episodes are recording now. We are at 247 episodes.
Really?
When we post this episode, we'll be at 249, which means that the following episode, our Week in Geek Wednesday, will be 250.
250?
250.
250. All right. We will have to make it a special Week in Geek then.
And then what are you going to do for that one? You going to go topless?
Why do you do it? Why do you go there? Jeez Louise, man. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, my God.
Now get the hell out of here!